to the marker. Alright, so having just got in, what are we looking at over here then?
Well, I'm old.
Yeah.
I did not.
Fair dues. So we have.
So
I am going first, though. I did win the flip.
Okay.
Yep, I will set my prizes and wait for you to set up.
Fair dues.
No second. No.
That's useful at the very least.
I will take my 1.
Yeah, if you're going first, there's really no reason to put any other potential Pokemon down, is there? Alright. Hawlucha coming on in here.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a difference for me as well, just looking at this right now, because this screen is slightly bigger than the ones I'm used to with that, so looks different. It's also probably, it's not complaining, but it's also probably like, oh, it's 720p and not 1080 on this at the moment, but I want my CPU to live a little bit longer until the new thing comes in, thank you very much.
Okay. Fury Belt there. Zorua there. Floatstone on the Zorua. Ultra Ball away. X and a Metal Energy. Price check.
So this wasn't quite what I was expecting to see at the moment, Sai, being the fighting stuff coming out here. Be interesting.
Should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna get a Shaman. We're just gonna.
Makes sense.
Oh no, I could have never seen that coming.
5. Compressor.
Because who doesn't love triple more powerful Foolish Burial? Oh man. I still don't understand how they managed to think this card was okay.
So metal Sycamore Compressor.
Yep.
Okay, metal to the active. And I'll pass it back to you there.
Okay, so I think the first thing we do is Karina here.
Makes sense.
You want one of those. Any item, that's fine.
Yeah, I've heard that's a pretty good effect.
Do we have that in here? We do. So we'll get a Gibble and a Professor's Letter. We'll play the letter.
Yeah, this is like the complete opposite deck to what was what was followed before.
Put down another Hawlucha. I'll attach a Fighting to the Hawlucha. We will Trainer's Mail. Top 4, right? Yep.
Yep. And any trainer that's not Trainer's Mail.
That's perfectly acceptable.
That's a
Focus Sash.
good one.
And we will Flying Press for the 60.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a pretty good start. You know.
Evolve to Zoroark.
You'd wish to have a second Gibble down, but that's really the only thing, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it could be an issue.
DC on the Zoroark. And Steel Wing to break the stash.
Yep. Sash doesn't go away, it just
Yeah,
won't activate.
that's the
bell.
idea.
Oh,
Yeah, there's that nasty +10 on the basic thing with it here. Horrible.
no worries.
Oh, this is a spicy matchup in general. I'm not sure how this
Rare
is gonna
candy
go.
to Garchomp.
Although that makes me think it's gonna go significantly worse. Uh oh.
Little strong energy to Garchomp. BS Seeker for Karina. That. I think I just start swinging here, honestly.
Yeah. Like, he's taking 20 less this turn, but that's not much of a bother here, I don't think.
Wait, does that count as an item card, or?
No, it does not.
Nope. The stadium.
Okay, sorry, just making sure.
Nah, it's fine. It's worth checking, but no. Item, stadium, separate thing.
Tools count, at least for now, but not stadiums.
Focus Sash would be a lot worse if you couldn't current the search yet. Let's just say that now. Oh dear. It'd be disastrous.
I think we'll grab that then. Trainer's mail.
Certainly an interesting option.
Grab that. Little acrobike.
Oh, that is a fancy one. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I'm switching around some of my arts after this. I think
Yeah, I've never seen this one.
So we're discarding a Garchomp to get level ball.
Yeah, if you're gonna play it anyway, you might as well just reveal it.
And I'll grab another Gibble.
okay.
No energy in there, but that's still a lot of damage for you to be dealing with right now. So we will retreat out and we will Turbo Assault.
So the Steel Wing will negate the strong energy, and
It's wrong.
yeah, there's a strong energy on there. The Steel
Yeah,
Wing
yeah.
basically blocks that because it's 20 less, and that was used last turn. And then yeah, so it's just the same 60 as before, but yeah.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't think this is Mega Evolving, so I'm not too scared about having special energy on it. I don't think it'd be a
very
good.
well on it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm not too scared of getting energy removed right now of that.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just
Uh-huh.
entirely. I was gonna.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at as well. I was thinking, you're with how many benches there, you've already got Mind Track set up here, so
Max pot.
curses foil again.
Pick 'em up. It's got a Bronzong and a Super Rod.
Oh, why did that not snap together there? That was weird.
Well, that's a hand and a half. Yeah. Fury Belt the Shaman.
I mean, that could matter.
Stand in, take KO.
Garchomp only having 130 HP this time is depressing, I will admit.
We'll evolve to Gabite, attach fighting energy, level ball.
I forget, did it only have 130 HP last time as well, or... Was it 140 in Dragon's Exalted? I don't remember. I want to say it was 130.
Fail search.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
We'll retreat into the damaged one and pass.
It was 140 last time.
It was, okay.
Attach a metal to the Scizor. Play Bronzor down. Please.
Well, at least this time Mind Chat can't one-shot the Garchomp, so...
What's that?
It's still a bit of an awkward situation, isn't it, really?
Yeah. But I can't. Deal waiting for 30. Yeah. Weakness means I just can't afford to stay in when you're threatening Garchomp like that.
It's understandable.
Well, we have the other one. A 100 damage.
You're doing a bit less than that at the moment.
No, I mean from Mind Jack, if that comes
Oh yeah,
back in.
Mind Chat does 100 at the moment, yeah.
Is that fine? Probably not. We'll just flying press for the 40.
Okay.
Ain't that sensible?
Okay. Is 160. Currently have 210 HP, so assuming there's no modifiers, I know it's a fighting deck.
Sycamore into Strong Energy Fighting Stadium, let's go.
So let's get the obvious out of the way. Volta Bronzong. Put down another Scizor. I guess play that you don't have it. Fighting Fury Belt. This I've been given awkward here.
I mean, the damage reduction is also a potential consideration, isn't it?
Yeah. Runs on the energy.
Yep.
So we benched one. I should probably hedge against it. Still low. Zoroark, retreat, deal wing, KO.
Yeah, fair enough.
Really?
Okay, Karina.
Where does that get us, I wonder?
Grab the Probably gonna be that. Play Ultra Ball, discarding rare oh whoops. Rare candy, Holucha.
Shaman. Very surprised if there's anything other than a stupid flying hedgehog.
Yep.
It is indeed a stupid flying hedgehog.
Draw 6.
Yeah, I definitely don't blame you on that one. You're having a hard time getting into the game a bit there, so yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Attach fighting energy to the Holucha. Focus Sash to the Garchomp. And we'll just kick the...
Another
It's no wonder it's not doing much damage. This thing's made of metal. Like, how do you... Honestly, you can't press that. Although somehow Pokemon logic makes it, well, it'll be neutral because of the flying part of it, but like, Pokemon logic would make that sort of move super effective against it. God knows how that works, but you know.
So that which one is that attached to, so I'll bronze onto here. Stand in, retreat out, Gale Frost KO.
I'll say you've got a lot more out of this than I ever did when I tried this in the games.
Sacred Ash.
That is a really good pickup. There's a lot of chompers in that discard.
Okay, bring in the Zora. Actually, should I?
Seems pretty sensible to me.
Yeah, I don't think I'm killing that, regardless.
Yeah, because it's got resistance, so it's being at 150 HP at the moment. Yeah.
Well, level ball.
There was a purpose in the fighting, in the random fighting fury belt.
Yep.
And Gibble and Turbo Assault gets the KO, so
Yep.
we'll do that, and we'll grab any energy from our discard pile,
Sure will.
and we can attach it to any one of our Pokemon. It'll probably be going on the Garchomp.
I think the Zoroark puts up so much more pressure on this board than trying to take the 2 prizes on the Shaman anyway, so you've got a prize to take though.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, a humble opinion, that is probably the most sensible move to use with the Lysander there.
Yeah, I have to agree with that on this side, because this is now incredibly awkward. This is
This turns off a lot of the damage here as well, because your Gale Assault suddenly cost an awful lot more to do.
Is it active if it comes off?
See
It's
this.
active from.
Yeah,
This is the question.
if this Pokemon was on the bench and became your active Pokemon this turn, the bringing it up after a KO is not on the same turn as you would be attacking. It's the turn prior. So
No worries, just making sure.
yeah, no, it's fine because this will come up later with Glycopod as well. So it's worth noting that no, this does not count as Gale Frost doing 110 this turn. So Yeah, a
The
lot.
strength of this deck hits 120 and you're on 130.
That is a fair bit of it, yeah, like...
The man of being able to just easily pick off Zoroark like that, I do think Garchomp's favoured here. Just
I would agree. Yeah. I would agree. It's just, it can be sometimes the difficulty of getting the setup, but it's been mostly fine here.
Max pot the bench. Bronze on the energy back. Attach. Pay retreat. Yeah, I gotta make mine. Thinking if I go for it's worse than BS Seeker for Hex and play it.
Okay.
You know, I almost completely forgot that was discarded, like, turn 1.
Yeah, I probably should have been spamming this more to be honest, but
Yeah.
yeah, then I'll do the Gale Thrust for 120. Because if I just kept the Shaman off, I probably just won. But I'm probably just playing
Hurt down a
more
Gibble.
in general.
We'll attach Fighting Energy to a Gibble. We'll Sycamore, discarding Rare Candy.
Yeah, I will admit, that's not the way I would have played that last turn, but that's just different playstyle, I think, here.
So we're doing 180 right
Correct.
now. Alright, go big or go home.
Yeah, that is a that is a number that exists.
And we'll bite off for the KO.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, this is why Garchomp was potentially viable. He just hit huge freaking number against EXs.
And has built-in acceleration.
Okay, Megaphone off those sashes. Attach from hand to the Scizor. Sycamore. Discarding Lysander,
Zoroark, yeah.
Seeker, and Zoroark.
Yeah, it doesn't help that like Garchomp has got no retreat cost as well, so it can be hard to lock down.
Yeah, took a risk. And that did not work. Send that. Bench this. Runs onto the bench. Yeah, I was just I just really misplayed horribly. I can't see this game right in my head now.
So turn prior
Yeah.
instead of I would have steel winged. Was the
Yeah,
was the
I
thing
didn't.
off of it.
I was not thinking Steel Wing that turn. I was panicking.
Yeah. Yep. No, I
was
would have.
panicking.
I still would have.
I forget Steel Wing's an attack sometimes.
He still would have taken 2 prizes on me, which does kind of suck. But then I'd have been able to get the return KO this turn, and yeah, because you'd have been able to like promote Shaman.
I tunnel visioned on find a float stone to set up bronze on quick to start
Sure.
getting things going again, but
Sure, understandable. Yeah, no, it's that was just my sort of logic thinking through. I was like, okay, if Steel Wing happens this turn, you're unlikely.
you were correct. You were correct. I was not thinking that hand through at all.
Hex Maniac is useless versus this deck, for the most part. There is only one Shaman.
Well, his hand had like Sycamore double VS Seeker.
Yeah,
and
it's like
he
a
only
hand
had
that couldn't
Spore.
Sycamore. but only had Sycamores.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, Hexmaniac wasn't doing anything.
In hindsight, I should have hexed you the turn you had two free cards in hand and just used my 2 AZ just to hex chain you out the game. But I'm not aware, I'm still, like, that kind of play goes right under my nose, I swear.
It's tough because, like, the card is very weird as far as when you, like, consider using it, isn't it? It's, like, it's clearly powerful, but it can be tricky sometimes.
My brain
to just...
sees it as an anti-wall, anti-Vileplume card. I'm not a lock player, okay? I'm not used to seeing games when I can just say, okay, you can't play the game anymore, have fun.
You and me both. I understand that, honestly. It's, it's a tricky card to use that way, but understandable.
This deck needs its consistency tuned up more. If I was going to play it more, to be honest.
I'm surprised that this functions as well as it does with how little consistency is in it.
Yeah, I did add more support since last time. One of these might have to be another draw card.
Yeah,
probably a second Birch, because how awkward that Sycamore is.
Yep. And yes, I kind of agree. I mean, this just shows the power of Corinna in a way, doesn't it? Of just how much that can actually do. But yeah, no, I get what you mean. It's like there's only 2 Sycamore in here. There's it's mostly just Corinna Turbo, but like that does kind of work a lot of the time.
The thing is, you can afford to go stadiumless. I'm not sure in this format.
It's weird. I don't know, like I obviously ideal scenario I know, but I would have probably liked Skyfield, to be honest. That similar sort of thing I tried with that Tyrantrum and whatnot. Like I think this is just it's a less damage, but it's a more streamlined, I guess, version of the thing I tried with that. So yeah, I totally understand with the thing there. It's tricky. You do get
this mission might also want to go. I would just worry about running out of energy long games because a lot of my play is Bronzong and manual attach.
Understandable, yeah.
Recover from to get Zoroark online in 1 turn, to recover from max potion. Because I think a lot of the value in running the Bronzong in this build is that I can run max potions.
Yes.
Which on a 210 HP attacker is quite nice. It helps you stay in the long game despite my low damage.
Yeah, it's kind of like Mega Main, but without having to be a Mega Evolution, right? I know you don't get quite as much acceleration per thing, but you've got the Bronzong for that, so like, it's a very similar idea. You're hitting basically the same number, you're doing it on a basic this time round, so it's not quite as susceptible. Yeah, I don't know, it's cool idea, for sure.
The thing is that 2-2 might not be enough for these. Like, I had a Bronzor prize, and I pulled it off first prize. If I didn't, it would have gotten awkward.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure if I should need the Bronzor that much, though, or if I just build in such a way that assumes I can play without it.
You definitely want Skyfield if you put a third Bronzor in, but yeah. Like, 3-2 Bronzor might not even be that bad. You don't, like you're saying, you don't need that many of them in play, but just having the extra Bronzor might help. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just to smooth out turns, really, and deal with enemy pressure better.
Yep. I think there is something here. Like, it might not be the greatest deck ever, but I think there is something here for it. It's just one of those that maybe it's a bit harder to build than we'd first think, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of different directions being pulled here, for sure.
Yeah.
I know I mentioned the Mega could come out. That is actually a thing that could go in this deck as a one-off Mega.
You could get to this. Yeah.
Special energy denial.
The tool's a bit awkward already. So maybe Eco Arm could come in then?
That's always possible. Yeah, if you did have the Mega, you'd be able to use that as like the Stadium bounce effectively, right? Because you discard Stadiums with that.
Right.
So
drop a float for an Eco Arm, like +1. Then we only need to find one more cut for Eco Arm, Spirit Link, and the Mega itself.
Yeah, I could see that. Maybe a Fury Belt at that point.
Is another flex spot cut type thing, because like I mentioned before, the Zoroark cat really likes having it around, but nothing else does. Well,
yeah, that was the other thing I was thinking. You were actually gonna like Sky Return in the early game as well, because that hand was garbage.
Yeah, if I could prime stuff, shame at any point, just like put an energy on it. Because that's another thing this deck can do. If you find a turn, just put an energy on a Shaman at any point. You can Sky Return it off.
Yeah, absolutely. So
it's a harder to play deck than you'd think. It looks really simple, but in that it just wants to scale for us constantly. But that's just not enough. But there
And
are lots of little tricks in there.
And it's also getting to that point too. Like again, we are going to see this sort of deck come back later with Glycopod, which when the Glycopod GX comes in, it's a stage 1, but it does the same damage basically on a 1 energy, but it has Guzma available at that point, so it ends up being a lot more straightforward to use that way. But even
Maybe,
so,
could this be? Does this stuff all stay? Oh no, this doesn't. Bronzong goes, doesn't it? Yeah.
yeah, because Phantom Forces. So yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking maybe this could actually see play again when Guzma comes in after rotation, but no, Bronzong rotates.
Yeah, if you need that Excel too much, then yeah.
Yeah, like maybe it can work, but I think at that point you're playing Max Elixir.
Yeah, I was thinking about Max Elixir in here initially as well, but
That
again,
is an option. Just cut this at full Max Elixir. It might work.
might need
I'd
one
be
more
worried about the
basic
Max Potions long game then, but it might work.
energy recycler could also potentially be a thing at that point.
Yeah.
You'll probably want another energy if you're gonna go that way, because I think 10 might be slightly.
At that point,
sketch.
the DCA I think just has to go at that
Sure,
point. But
sure, understandable.
yeah, if playing the Mega, those are probably 3 cuts for Eco Arm Spirit Link. Mega. That might just be correct in general, to be honest. The Mega's nice.
Potentially Fury Bell at that point as well, even though I know it's a bit awkward, but it's like if you've got Eco Arm anyway,
Yeah, but
that's potentially one.
Nah, that probably goes for another consistency card, then probably a Trainer's Mail.
Yeah. This is the beauty about deck building in this era, right? Is like, yeah, it might be a pain in the butt to play sometimes, but oh man, there are so many options you could do with stuff in this era, and it's great. So, yeah, definitely some fun that you can have that way. Alright, so you want to bring a non-Garchomp one, because I think Garchomp's pretty bad into all 3 of the decks I have here, so you want to bring the other one in for stuff here?
Yeah, give me a second.
Because, yeah, Garchomp's got a very bad matchup into like 2 of the ones I've got, like Guaranteed, and then I'm pretty sure it's not good into Entei either, so, yeah. Why did my deck not come out? That's weird. Whatever, I'll change my colour first then.
Drop a compressor. Thank you. Yeah, the other thing I told myself is, can I get away with 2 compressors? Because I don't need compressor that much here if Bronzong's a late game piece. So maybe those are cuts for more Trainer's Mail.
Potentially. I think if you're cutting the Bronzong too, you probably don't need the fan clubs either, right?
I mean, it's not cutting the Bronzong. It's like, if it's mostly a late game piece, I don't need compressor to accelerate it out.
Right, I thought you were going with the Max Elixir thing, and that's what...
No.
Yeah, okay, right. I understood. Alright, what would we like?
Tails, please.
Yeah, that's going to be a good start for you, assuming you're going first.
I'll go first.
Yep. That's going to be kind of bad. I think you... Oh my god. We're probably moving on to game 2 on this one pretty quick. Let's see what you got. Yeah. Okay, well, it's not the greatest one, but it's certainly good enough right now.
Do I even put this down at this point? Well, that is the question. We'll put down the Darkrai. I have 3 of these, so we're going to use all of them.
Use them one at a time, because you've got to shuffle the deck each time, but yeah. Because you got to shuffle the deck in between each one, so...
That information is kind of important.
It's the whole fact of the other cards got shuffled back into the deck, that's why. Okay.
So we'll grab the Fighting Fury Belt.
Uh-huh.
Do the second.
Yep.
Very funny game.
Uh-huh.
Another one. And if this is the 3rd one, I'm going to laugh. Okay, no, that is very useful though.
Okay, yep.
We'll escape rope to get the Giratina out of the active.
Mm-hmm.
Put down a dark energy, and we will Professor Birch's observations.
Yep.
So, last card is Hoopa. So
Yeah, fair enough, I guess, if you don't
wasn't
want
sure
to.
if I needed that if I already had.
Understandable. Yep.
We'll max elixir.
Mm-hmm.
Do you hit one? Put it on Giratina,
Yep.
and we will pass from there.
Okay, we will draw. And game 2. I'm gonna copy this for later, but I literally lose next turn, so no, that's not the one. Copy this for later on so you can see, but yeah, I literally lose on the spot. I have nothing I can do, so
Yeah, this hand's
it happens.
masonry.
It happens. So yeah, like I said, I literally can't do anything with that. So yeah, game 2. Obviously we'll be going first with it this time.
Yep. You have a mulligan, my good sir?
I do not, unfortunately. Let me just. Oh, why is it being so awkward to tile? Oh, I know why. It's because the screen. It's where my screen is. Right. Yeah, I don't.
Yep. So
Okay.
we're both.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking about it for a second. It's like, right, the screen I'm playing on is the new one, which is at the top right now. So yeah, that makes sense as to why I was like going off screen there. That's fine. Alright, this is at least playable, so we have something of a start here. Okay. Well, we have the Remoraid again, so that's good. I think... trying to think what I actually want out of this. It's a very, very small chance that I die on turn 1, but I guess it is possible. But I don't know if there's much I can really do about that, even if I want to. Yeah, I'm just going to attach to the active and pass here. Go ahead.
Trainer's mail?
Yep.
Well, we take that always versus the stack.
Yeah, that makes sense. So they're going to limit me to 3. Yep, also makes sense.
Trainer's mail again.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, that's a failure. There's trainer's
Okay.
mail in there, can't take it.
Yeah. That happens more often than I care to admit.
We'll attach a double dragon energy. Do I go further is the question. Can I afford to is the other one.
Yeah, that is another question, isn't it?
Oh, this is painful, but I think I need more than one Pokemon up right now.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with this, to be honest. Sometimes you lose a VS Seeker like that, but
Yeah.
it's just one, it's usually fine.
Yeah, I understand as well with it. It's certainly is the more prudent thing right now.
It's normally multiple VS Seekers that make me pause.
Ultra Ball, discarding Darkness Energy.
Third one, yep.
Escape Rope.
Ooh, happy to see that go. It's the one thing about playing this deck this early is that Octillery is a bit of a liability sometimes.
Which one did I grab? I don't think I can afford to be slow here.
Understandable.
So we'll Hoopa.
Yep. 3 EXs. Up to, obviously, but yeah.
170 means it's not that much reliability into frog stuff at least.
Yeah, it is tricky to get down. Ooh, okay. Yep. It's tricky to get down at pace. Yeah.
And we'll pass.
Not much
Okay.
more vulnerable to being shuriken than anything else in this deck, is more my point.
Yeah. Okay. So we will play the Octillery down. I do at least have that. Just trying to think how the rest of this hand is supposed to go. I mean, dive ball makes sense, so we'll start there. See what we're dealing with this time. Okay. Probably for the best for you that City is in play right now. Okay, so there's like 2 of those, I think. Okay, well we can obviously we're getting Frogadier because there's nothing else that's even worth grabbing here, considering parallels in play. Just trying to think what else to do from here. I think we just use Octillery here for 1.
Yep.
So we get anything reasonable? Not especially. And we'll just duplicates. Grab the 2 that I'm allowed to play right now onto the bench. It's the one fun thing with it. Set your deck for up to 3 frogs, put them on the bench, but I only have space for 2, so yeah, it's fine.
Okay, this makes me feel a lot better. We'll Super Rod.
Okay, yeah, I guess all the dark energy's back. It's pretty good.
Double Dragon
Oh, for
Energy.
goodness sake, yeah, okay.
And
That fucking sucks.
we'll Sycamore.
Yep. That is very fortunate on your end.
Max Elixir.
Uh-huh.
Put that on a Darkrai. And we'll Chaos Wheel.
Yeah, you certainly will. That is really annoying. Okay. Just spiking the double dragons. That is also really annoying because I can't exactly use that right now. Ultra Ball discarding Gren and Froakie. I forget if it was there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to grab Vachi. It feels really bad, but I don't think I've got much of a choice here, to be honest. Yeah, not much out of that. I haven't even got anything in the discard for stuff. Nope, so we'll Abyssal Hand for the 2. This is going to be a bit brutal, but we can probably make it back. I have Bursting Balloon, and I did draw Sycamore, so we can go ahead and... Yeah, not happy about discarding the Megaphone right now, but that's fine. You haven't played them yet, so... Okay, we do have stuff here, which is fine. Ultra Ball, pitching... How many are even in here at the moment? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to get rid of the folks here. And probably Ace Trainer to be the easiest thing to do here. So we can grab, of course it's the next card in the deck, because why would it not be? We can grab ourselves Greninja, which is fine. So we will evolve. It has 0 retreat, so we can go out to the Raji. I have the energy for it, and we will Stardust. Take one of those double dragons off, and go from there.
Max Elixir.
Yep. Yeah, Max Elixir is such a powerful card for stuff here.
Lysander and the Octillery.
Sure.
Okay, retreat.
Yep.
Dark Pulse.
For 60. 20 plus 20 for every dark energy you have in play. And thankfully, we just got rid of all the other ones, so... Okay. Not the greatest, but we can work with that. The Bursting Balloon falls off as well, because that is only until the end of your next turn. That's fine. I just had to play it, basically. I wasn't guaranteed to really get what I was hoping for, so... Alrighty, we can play Special Energy now, which is good. I do have a second Greninja, so we'll play that. I'm gonna Sacred Ash here to basically grab everything except one of the Frokes. I think makes sense here. Because I do kind of want my breaks back in the deck, and Frogadier probably makes more sense to get here. It's a bit weird, but I mean, given I've got 2 Frogadier in deck now, if I put this one back in, I've got 2 Froakie, so yeah, it seems sensible to me. In fact, I think I've still got 3 actually, because I've... Yeah, you killed the one that was evolved from it, so yeah, I've got 3. So now, I think I want to preserve the Octillery, but I don't think it's happening. So I think we will just Splash Energy this Gren. We will Abyssal Hand for the 4 cards, go up to 5. Oh, we do get it anyway, alright. Spike that with the Floatstone, pretty good. We will Dive Ball. I've just asking a stupid question. I didn't evolve this Greninja this turn, right? I got them both last turn, did I? Because I should
got one this turn. I think.
Because I should be attaching to the one that I've actually got the thing on. That just makes the most sense, right? The one that I could actually break evolve. So it's just like I forget which one, if there was one that way. I forget which one it was. So I just, yeah, sorry for being a stoop, but we have the break that we can play. This is why, because like Dive Ball for the break is really the only play I can make off of it, with Parallel City still being in play. So it's like grab the one that I can actually go into. We will retreat. I have a Shuriken. Just thinking where's best to play it. It probably makes sense on the active. Yeah, we'll put it on the active here. So six counters. And then we will VS Seeker that Ace Trainer. So we'll bring that back out. So you shuffle draw 3 and I shuffle draw 6 because you're ahead on prizes. So we'll get that. And can't really play anything else out of that because Parallel City is a card that exists. So ability stuff probably doesn't matter too much into here, so we will just Moonlight Shuriken for 60. I'm not going to bounce the energy back because I don't think I need to right now. Okay, stabilized. Let's see where we go from here.
Gonna have to force you to attack into this.
That's fair. Understandable.
Ultra Ball discarding Darkrai and Professor Birch.
Yep. So the thing is, if I Shadow Stitch last turn, yeah, it would stop you getting the Shaman here, but it also means that I wouldn't have been able to kill this, really, without having another discard and whatnot, so... I don't know. I mean,
like the Shaman compared to the Birch here, to be honest. But
yeah, it's the thing. The other thing is, yeah, if with a Shaman down, I can Shuriken towards that, and that's probably a much better target for me.
Finding Fury Belt on the Darkrai.
Yep, that's why I was not happy to discard that Megaphone, because I was like, man, I really needed that.
So they're dealing 70 right now.
70, yes.
Problem is, I don't think I can get enough here.
That's the hope.
Not immediately, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I can't outpace this.
Jeez, okay. Yeah, I
I
did.
think losing the 2 DDEs on the Giratina early was probably just fatal there.
I didn't have the energy
No, this was the
immediately,
fatal.
but
I don't
yeah, a
know, but
couple of elixir being prized really doesn't help. Yeah, I didn't have it immediately off of that unless the top deck does it. Well, top deck gives me another break, so I guess there's that. But it's like, yeah, I'm gonna attach that there, and then I've got a second ace trainer, so I just keep suppressing the hand here, is the idea. And I think that's one of the biggest sort of Achilles heels when it comes to this deck. I mean, there's any deck that doesn't have, like, you know, Octillery on board, right, is gonna have a bit of trouble against that. But yeah, my Fisherman being prized was a pain, actually, alongside both the energy.
I was trying to outrush you at the early there.
Yeah, no, it's understandable. So I just want to see if I would have had the energy real quick just whilst we're here, because I think this is, reasonably speaking, you should win this much more often than not. When, from my experience, I could not take a game off of this deck when I played the testing. I was like 0-5 going first most of the time as well. So it's like I don't know what I would do otherwise. So I think reasonably this like game 3 should go in your favor anyway. So I'll show you what the hand was in game 1 in the set, because I actually wouldn't have had it. Shit. Okay. I did not draw one of my I did not draw one of my energy in that hand, so I guess that that Darkrai would have been living, but I would have gone to the new Greninja, so it'd have been like dual another 170 HP guy. Probably would have put the balloon on it to deter you from attacking. So I think it was still a good spot for me to be in with it, but I wouldn't have actually had the KO outright. But yeah, I agree with the way that was going. It was a bit rough. Had to rely on Narachi to get there, but that is why we play it in this deck, you know.
Just no max elixirs left is fatal at that point.
The fact if you got both double dragon energy in the first couple of turns there was just like, oh, for the love of God, like what am I supposed to do against this? But you know, with parallel being down too, I couldn't replace the parallel because of Chaos Wheel, so I was stuck really if I didn't get Narachi out there. So yeah, I think I did get a bit lucky with it for sure, but sometimes you've kind of got to against that kind of start. And again, it's like that deck really does win almost all of the time against this, because you just go up 4 prizes before I get the full setup is the thing.
Why is there a stray hand over here?
Because that was my hand from game 1. We're about to show that again to Sai over here. I copied it so I could show.
Okay, I thought GTS had a moment for a second.
Nope.
There.
Nope, this was my hand game 1.
Yeah, the brick. I was all that like, yeah, this is dead.
This was after the card draw, because Bursting Balloon was the draw for turn. So
Remoraid active. This is no playing. It's a brick.
You literally can't play anything. So I was like, yeah.
Especially with how aggressive that start I had was.
Yeah, that was insane. And it's like you just needed a second energy on the Darkrai and you just don't. So I just said,
I had it in hand.
Exactly. So I was just like, nope, we can't play out of this one. So I copied it so it would be like better to show later for the thing. But yeah, no, it was completely unusable. Yeah, so second time for Dart and stuff in a row, because this deck is sick as hell. Unfortunately, I guess we didn't get to see the entire thing with it, but the long and short of it is that Dark Pulse does more for every dark energy, which is not basic dark. So double dragon energy is plus 40, which means you also get to play a more disruption aspect with Giratina here as well, because it can be very, very annoying against the right deck. Like, I played a little bit against like Night March Vespiquen using this thing, and Giratina just like shuts that down. So it's like you've got game against other decks as well, despite just being like 2-price centric. Sometimes you'd think, oh, it's a liability, but nah, not so much here. And Fury Belt really just adds so much to this type of deck, it's kind of absurd. Yveltal can sometimes get extra energy in play as well, which is kind of nice. Not so good into the Gren matchup, as we found out the first time we were testing these decks, but against a lot of other decks it is perfectly fine, and still very powerful, so that's really nice. And yeah, Hooper just being able to search for a bunch of the stuff here is great too. Got Float Stones to help that out, and it's just powerful, consistent, straightforward. What more can you say?
Just a bit forcing actually for my metal deck actually. Does it want a scheme?
Giovanni's scheme is pretty good, yeah.
Like,
Gives me options.
Yeah, probably play some mail from Steam.
Yeah, scheme is
Just could
pretty
hit 130, just because that issue hitting 130s.
Mhm,
That's the solution for that.
Yeah, I could see that. Whereas the Greninja stuff, the one I wouldn't say even regret, but I unfortunately had to take the red candy out of here in the end because I needed to put a megaphone in. That wasn't the initial cut, it was one of the energy, but I was finding that was a bit too sketch, so I put the 7th energy back in. It's unfortunate, like, Greninja is really, really strong, but as you saw game 1, like, it will just lose to itself sometimes too. Like, imagine if we were in the format where I could play Talonflame instead, right? At the end of this format in Steam Siege, these two Octillery pieces become Talonflame, and I think that entire hand suddenly becomes, like, a lot better going second with that, right? Yeah, exactly, but it's just like that immediately offsets a lot of the issue stuff here. But it is
second as Gren when you got Talonflame.
I don't think you ever willingly choose to go second because you still don't. I mean, you don't always start Talonflame for one, but if you get to go first, that means you have the opportunity to do a turn 2 Frogadier even. So it's like I don't think you ever willingly go second. Maybe you do, but like I would probably still want to go first basically every time because you've got.
I'm just curious because the Talonflame does. It's a conflict there.
I think you've got an equal chance of starting Talonflame versus starting not Talonflame because you generally, I think the final line stuff for it is about 4 Talonflame, 3 or 4 Froakie, and then 0 to 1 Jirachi. So you've usually got like a 50-50 of starting the Talonflame, I suppose, if you look at it that way. It's a bit more than that, I think, because you could start Froakie plus Talonflame available, but you know what I mean. It's like, it's very close to being just over 50% of the time you'd start it. So I think you do still want to go first, just because getting your turn 2 water duplicates so much more impactful when you actually have the going first advantage, right? But yeah, no, so it's like you kind of lose to yourself a little bit with it here, as we saw, but you do have a fair amount of consistency stuff in here. I'd like a little bit more on the non-Sycamore trainer supporter side here. I've kind of gone 2-2 with the Ace Trainer Judge. I'd like more, but I also want the second Fisherman, and I can't fit either of them in if I want to keep the consistency as it is. I guess you could argue maybe take out the balloons could be a thing, because you could play like 3 Rough Seas or something and go that way.
Stuff, yes, with the Fisherman stuff either, can you?
Not really, no, because I do kind of find that VS Seeker is rather important in a deck like this, you know, being able to use like consecutive judges, or even sometimes even Lysander could be the thing you need, right? Because you can go Shuriken, Lysander, Stitching, or Moonlight Slash or whatever to take a KO you otherwise wouldn't get. Yeah, another part of the cost of playing Octillery is that I do need to play at least one switch out thing here, so the Floatstone is there for it. Obviously glad I did there, because it gave me the extra attack that I ended up needing more or less for stuff there, so that was obviously very helpful. And Bursting Balloon is another one of the new cards from the set too. It's not played in any of the other decks we've seen today. Yeah, it's Rocky Helmet for 1 turn, and that can force some very irritating plays on the opponent's end, right? Gotta escape rope past it, or Lysander the thing or something. And
Rocky Helmet even like a Team Fortress 2 hat.
I love it. And yeah, like this is probably the most cuttable card out of here at the moment, but I do really like the way that it adds up. But you're otherwise not ridiculously impressive damage like by itself. You know, you're mostly Shadow Stitching in a lot of the turns. The only reason I didn't is because we've played this matchup with a testing thing before, and I know the only card you've got that left at that point was Shaman, so it's just like, if you put that Shaman down, I am fine with that, right? Because I still had Ace Trainer in hand, so it was, I was pretty okay with it that way. So it's like I didn't really need to Shadow Stitch in this one, and Moonlight Slash just gave me the damage sort of points that I needed to hit. Otherwise, it's kind of a bit of a future-based list as well. It's just maybe a bit of the way I prefer to play it. Most of the list you would see at the beginning of Greninja's play did not have Splash Energy in them, but I think it's just too important not to have personally. I think it's really,
Might be
really
one
good.
of those things that people realise later was good.
Yeah.
That happens sometimes.
Yep. No, I think that is definitely the case where it was just like immediately not many people thought it was good enough, but they just played like 8 water. But nah, I'm playing a couple in here because I like that. I did initially have red candy in here because sometimes you do just need to go like, you know, get another Froakie down or something, or after your splash energy, you've got stuff like the extra Greninja and stuff in hand, so you could red candy the next one up. So I think that's kind of nice to have around as well. And I played Free Break because I really like having the extra one around. Most of the initial decks only played 2, and I was considering cutting it, I will admit, but I personally prefer the third one. So I think if I wanted the second Fisherman in here though, the Break is probably what goes. I did put a second Sacred Ash in so I could mitigate a little bit of the early Sycamore woes. So like maybe that's a thing. We don't exactly have access to triple Giant Shuriken in a turn anyway right now because it has to be active to do that. So arguably that could be a thing, especially with Splash Energy being on them. But yeah, I don't know. I like having the third one. So if you get free Greninja Break in play, the opponent's probably not winning anyway, right? Because they are so hard to KO in one hit for most decks.
Even 2's a nightmare.
Not your deck though. This is the problem. It's just like you just hit 170 like so much. Yeah, the problem I was having is that if you don't start Yveltal, then I'm kind of usually down like 4 prizes by the time I actually take my first one there, and it's over at that point because you're just one-shotting everything anyway. So I was having too much of a hard time actually like keeping any sort of pace of it because you're just. Like, this deck is simple enough, it just generally has everything when it needs, right? And Double Dragon was insane for stuff that way. It's like, it's unfortunate the way you were forced to go in Giratina early, but even, like, outside of that, it's just, man, this puts on so much pressure off of it, right? It's like, you get 5 energy in play and the Fury Bell, then you're one-shotting non-breaks. That's not very difficult to achieve when Double Dragon energy does half the work for you. So, yeah.
And Elixir gets another one.
Yeah. And that's why I was like, I'm more or less like 0 for 5 in my own testing against this thing. It was absolutely ridiculous. But then again, almost all of those games were Darkrai starts, so I guess that does help a bit as well. But
yeah, Giratina start is unfortunate, and I just needed to get things running.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a mistake to get rid of the rope. I wasn't paying attention to the way around that.
Yeah, I
can
don't.
see.
Yeah, I don't know, because it was an Ultra Ball discard, right? So it's like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Personally, obviously I didn't know your hand, so...
At the time, so...
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, no, it's an excellent deck. Maybe doesn't hit the elixirs quite as often because there's 10, but like 10 is fine. Just you do expect to whiff a couple of them over the course of like...
It is why I super rotted that early.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you definitely got enough energy back in that you shouldn't miss them as often. But yeah, just as a general count, when you've got like 10 in here, you honestly usually expect to whiff 1 or 2 in a game. Usually just a 1 though, so... You still get more than enough benefit out of it.
I don't think you can afford to run more because you'll just energy flood at that point.
Probably, yeah. But I mean, hey, these decks all like showed off pretty much what this new set is on, right? Because the Scizor is from the set, the Garchomp is from the set, Greninja is from the set, Darkrai is from the set, all the trader cards almost, with the exception I think of like Delinquent basically. All the good trainers were played.
But I just didn't want to bring the Scizor Gold, the Scizor Garb stuff. It just felt dull.
Yeah, that's understandable. I get what you mean with that. Also, probably wasn't expecting to face off against Garchomp, let's be honest. So
it's a neat card.
It is. It's really good. I'm more than happy seeing it. I just wasn't necessarily expecting to see it this time around.
Yeah, I didn't want to spam it because I've been fighting a lot about in this gen, and I like the way the damage mods work out. To be honest,
yeah,
I just like the idea of damage mods making mediocre attacks good. Basically,
I mean, I'd say Bite Off is a bit more than mediocre.
True. You are a stage 2. You are a stage 2. So.
You're hitting 160 for 2. That's not something to sniff at.
That's pretty good. Will admit, pretty strong. But I mean,
God forbid you can one shot Darkrai with the first attack.
Mm-hmm.
You just need 2 modifiers.
Yep. But you could see why I was saying like this wouldn't have a very good Greninja matchup, because you don't really hit nearly hard enough in the end for that, and I can Shuriken past the Sash. So like it's not very good into that. It's obviously not very good into Trev because there's a lot of items in here. You need a lot of setup for that. So, and of course non-EX that's resistant. So there's basically not a lot of hope in that one. And then Entei, I think it's a weird matchup. Meow. I think Entei is like possible, but you're mostly trading 2-shots, and I think the Entei deck is a little bit easier to make that work in the end.
Entei's bulkier, which is the issue.
Yeah, like you are never one-shotting Entei anyway, but you should realistically 2-shot it, unless it's like, if it's 210 HP, then you're gonna have a hard time, right? But double Fury Belt is a bit awkward, and they don't really have a way of getting your focus sashes off. So regardless, it's like Heat Tackle, if you've got Sash, does not KO you. So there's at least that. Maybe they self-damage and you can get there in 2 hits, but it's not a great matchup, I don't think, just because, you know, they're a basic and you're a stage 2, more or less. They can also get set up in a single turn via Blacksmith. Blacksmith DCE gets them to the Heat Tackle, and you can't match that entirely. Like you can do turbo assaults and you can get everything set up, so like it's not the worst, but it's certainly not easy, and not as easy as just like, Herder, I'm a basic, I'm gonna slap that down.
We also didn't get the maxi setup.
Yes,
That's also pretty terrifying.
Yeah, it can be tricky, but there were a couple of times I think there where you were like, oh, if I just top that Maxi, I'm golden, right?
Yeah.
There's a couple of points where I think you could have played most of the rest of the hand out and just been like, yeah, I'm a Maxi now. You know, so yeah.
Here's a fresh Garchomp, deal with it.
Yeah, here's how I deal with it, press the scoop button. Yeah, no. Fun stuff out of this one, but I will say, like, it's not entirely going to be the same format, obviously, but we will look to do generations as a separate thing here, even though it's mostly
it has
defense.
enough to be worth it in my eye. There is actually some interesting stuff in there.
It does, and also Fates Collide will just eclipse it so completely that it's just like, I would like to do it separately so that we can see maybe a couple of these cards actually do a thing. So, yeah.
We're
That's
still in the era of no lists.
Yeah, Fates Collide is the next list set, yeah. It's not too far off, but it's basically the same thing as this round that way. So, yeah, just a little bit longer. But it's okay. And I do think there are more than enough things that we can still look at even from this set, that even if you don't want to play one of the like 6 or 7 new cards out of this set, there's still more stuff, right? I know we were looking at like Machamp Ariados as a thing as well, so that's obviously something that could be looked at if you really wanted. And I mean, this set is just so cute, like, come on. It's adorable. So yeah, obviously looking into this one separately, but that will be for my description stuff next time. For now, thank you very much for watching on the YouTube side, and until next time, we'll see what generations can hold for us here. The first of, unfortunately, 2 Gen 1er sets in this era, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do, right?